I used to live way out in the sticks, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. The nearest town was about half an hour away. We usually only traveled there for important things like groceries or car supplies. The only points of interest where I lived were a few gas stations and small restaurants. Since we were so far from town, our area rarely had visitors. An occasional police car might pass through, but nothing that stuck out really came by. Until that particular autumn. I must have been around 7 years old. I was sitting in a leaf pile Mom had raked up, playing with the leaves, when I heard an unfamiliar type of music. The notes were very twinkly and happy sounding, and piqued my curiosity. I looked over as the music grew louder, and saw a strange van come to a stop on the road's shoulder. It was pink and white, with a giant fake ice cream cone on the top. Tons of kids around my age were excitedly hurrying up to the van with dollar bills in their hands. I had no idea what was going on, but it looked quite fun, and I did enjoy ice cream. I stepped off the leaf pile and began to walk down the driveway towards the bizarre vehicle. There was an opening on the side, with a young woman leaning out of it to exchange treats for the children's money. My attention was immediately sucked in when I saw all those various frozen goodies being handed out. Popsicles, ice cream sandwiches, and waffle cones piled high with large scoops of vanilla ice cream. It looked like heaven had just parked outside my house, and I remembered I had a few precious dollar bills in my pocket from doing chores. My face curling up in a huge grin, I hurried up to the vehicle. I was afraid I was too late, as the other kids had gotten their treats and left by the time I arrived. Looking back, the young woman had to have been in her mid to late 20s. She had short black hair, jungle green eyes, and slightly pale skin, with a rather thin figure. As her attention turned to me, I could feel her eyes staring intensely at me. She didn't even say anything. She just gave me a friendly smile. But something about that look made me feel nervous. It wasn't the typical kind of smile I had seen before. It seemed almost too big for her face, and reminded me of a creepy clown I had seen once in a cartoon. But my desire for ice cream was stronger than my concern, and I reached into my pocket and looked at the little menu on the side of the van.
Hi there.
Hi,
What's your name?
Richard. I noticed the woman's stare had only grown stronger by this point. She was gazing at me like I was a beautiful painting.
You're very nice eyes, Richard. Don't worry about paying for the ice cream. Do you want to come in here and see all the different kinds we have?
I looked at her, then back to the menu on the side of the van. But I can see them all from here.
Not all of them. I have some secret flavors hidden in here for special kids like you, Richard.
She motioned for me to come around to the back of the van. I wasn't entirely sure what to do, but secretly flavored ice cream sounded very intriguing. Being my naive 7-year-old self, I let my curiosity get the better of me and followed her to the back. She opened one of the back doors, holding a delicious-looking cone of ice cream swirling with various colors, like a blended rainbow. It was absolutely beautiful.
See, Richard? I have lots of great treats in here, just for you. Do you want to come inside and see some more? You can have them for free.
I was so excited I thought my heart was going to explode. As I reached for the enticing ice cream in her hand, she took a step back so it was out of my grasp. I began to follow her in, wanting that ice cream so badly, until I heard a faint whimper from one of the freezers inside. It immediately distracted me from the ice cream and sent a chill down my back. What was that? The woman looked at me in confusion.
What was what?
I guess she hadn't heard it. There's something in that freezer over there. I heard it. She still didn't seem to understand, brushing it off.
It must have been an animal outside.
I shook my head. No, I know it came from in there. My desire for the ice cream was gone. I was quenched with fear now, old enough to know living things do not ever go inside a freezer. It was at that moment we both heard whatever was inside the freezer weakly bump against the door, as if it was trying to get out. She quickly pressed her hand against the door to keep it closed. There was no denying it now. I looked at the woman and could see the worry in her eyes. She continued to stare at me quietly as I slowly stepped away from the van. I turned and ran back home, not looking back once. I immediately told my mother what had just happened, but when we went back to the street, the ice cream van was gone. A police report was made, and I would occasionally ask my mother about it, but to my knowledge they never caught the woman. Even now as a grown adult, I still don't dare go near ice cream vans. Some nights I lie awake wondering what was inside that freezer. I can only imagine what would have happened to me if I had gotten inside that van. I very well may have ended up in that freezer as well. It chills my skin to think that woman may still be out there.